What's up, action takers, the community of doers? I hope you're doing fine. Week 15, episode 15, 52 weeks, here we come. And by the way, we are getting close to the halfway mark, and I'm really excited for carrying you along all this way. So, let's keep on moving this journey. Now, in some instances in life, the most difficult thing is not doing what you need to do for you to achieve the objectives that you have in your life. I think in some instances, the most difficult thing is to actually believe that you can actually achieve those objectives with the right principles that needs to be done. Now, where am I going on with this? I want us to dive into what is the role of belief in the pursuance of what we want in our lives, or what is the benefit or the role that belief plays in our life. Before we go deep into really understanding the role of belief in our lives, let me kindly request you to please subscribe to this YouTube channel. It is going to help us to continue growing this community so that we can keep on producing the best information around the concept of rethinking conventional mentality. Now, the role of belief. It is very critical and very important for you to be able to have the right belief in what you're doing. That on a gut level deep down in your heart, with no doubt, that you believe what you are pursuing exists, and even more importantly, that you're capable of actually achieving it. Because I think most people don't actually believe that they can actually achieve what they want to, or they don't believe that what they want to achieve actually exists. Let me give an example in a nutshell. If you ask most people, for instance, the kind of job you'd want, the kind of life you'd want, most people will give you a scenario. Probably, I want to live in such kind of a house. I want to drive a certain kind of a vehicle. I want to make a certain amount of money in every month. But on the contrary, very few people actually believe that that is possible. And that is where I want us to take this discussion. That even before you set the path to pursue your objective and the goals that you want to achieve in your life, it begins with believing that those things exist and you can actually achieve them. So there are two things here. One is believing that what you want to achieve, your own objective in terms of your own personal and professional and family goals, believing that they actually exist. And the second part of it is actually believing that you can actually do it. If you want to, the last example I can give, if right now randomly you ask a person, would you like to make $1 million? I bet they're gonna say yes. But if you ask this question, do you believe that you can actually make $1 million? That's a different question. And that's what I want us to tackle today. That how do we build belief? Within yourself, you feel that whatever I want, the goals that I'm setting, the objective that I'm setting for my life, I actually believe they exist and I can be able to achieve them. How do we do that? So I'm going to look at a couple of things, and all is going to reinforce on these two things. One is to build belief around the fact that the things you want to accomplish exist in the universe. And the second one, how to build belief that you can actually achieve what you set yourself on. So, how do you make this happen? How do you make this happen? The first one that I'm going to look at is understand and define your core values. Understand and define your core values. Why? Beliefs start with clarity. Define your core values and principles that guide your life. Understanding what you stand for create a strong foundation for belief. What you believe, when your beliefs are aligned to your values, they become unshakable. So, to summarize that, in very simple word, what I mean is that your belief can't be vague. For you to have a strong belief that what you want to accomplish actually exists and you have the capabilities to achieve, you have to be very clear about what you want to achieve so that you can build belief around the fact that it exists. It can't just be, I want a good life. What is a good life? Define a good life. How do you know that a good life exists? It can't be a good job. What does a good job mean to you? It can't be make more money. What's more money? It can't be live a good life, live happy. It has to be very, very specific so that you can be able to trace it wherever it might exist in the universe. And also look at the kind of person you need to become for you to be capable to achieve. Because remember, believing that you can actually achieve, it is harnessing the capabilities for you to be able to have the right principle or to put in the right action for you to achieve it. The next one is set clear and compelling goals. Yeah, of course. It is still reinforcing on the first part of the fact that you need to be clear about where exactly you're going so that you can be able to trace a path and you can be able to believe in that path. The other one is create a personal success narrative. Create a personal success narrative. Now, have you ever asked yourself the fact that everything that we see in the world is actually a narrative? Everything, and I mean everything. From politics, to business, to money, to religion, life, family, friendships, activities, sports, everything is a narrative. So ask yourself that question. Do you subscribe to the narratives present in your own environment, or do you create your own personal success narrative? What do I mean by narrative? What do you believe to be true about yourself? What do you believe to be true about your environment? Let me add some information from whatever I have here for me to just create context and for you to really understand what I mean by you creating your own personal success narrative. Now, your mind believes what you tell it repeatedly. Craft a personal narrative that emphasizes on your strength, past success, and positive impact you can make. This narrative should be your mental anchor, reminding you of your capabilities and potential. So, a narrative is something that a concept that is repeated long enough to be accepted by the masses or by the people. So, what is that thing that you have repeated in yourself long enough to actually believe in it? So we can see a very, very strong point that for you to build belief along a certain path is just to reinforce that idea in yourself long enough for you to subscribe to that belief. So that's why we are saying, do you subscribe to the narratives around you? What do I mean by that? Do you take in information around you or the kind of perspective that is being provided by environment long enough to believe they are actually true? Or do you sit down to craft your own personal success narrative? And by that we mean focus on your strengths, focus on your past success, focus on your capabilities, and reinforce that to have a self-talk, a conversation with yourself about the things you've been able to do, about the impact you can actually make, long enough to believe that you can actually do those things. Develop your own personal success narrative. It's a way of building belief. The other thing, surround yourself with positive influence. Apparently, belief is contagious. If you surround yourself with people who believe in a certain course of action that is in line with your passions or your objective, you're going to tap into that. So surround yourself. I've repeated this quite a number of times in this platform, that you are an average of the 5 people you spend most of your time with. So if you know the kind of belief that you want to set for yourself, look for people with the same beliefs and stick around them. And sooner or later, that is going to be your language. So by this, I mean strategic relationships, partnerships, mentors, industry leaders, to just help you understand. If you have to climb a corporate ladder, it goes with no say. If you want to get to a certain level, for you to build belief, or for you to build belief that actually exists, is just to look for a person who is already there. So if I want to grow to be a regional leader in a certain organization or in a certain company of a certain industry, I just look for a person who is already there. So already I'm going to reinforce the belief that what I want actually exists, because this is a person who is actually doing what I want to do. The other thing is believing that you can actually achieve it. How do you do that? Talk to those people. What did they do for them to get into that path? So if you know there is a person that is already where you want to go, and you actually know what you need to do for you to get there, it can't be a replica, but you have an idea of how they got there, so you can borrow a lot, both from the mistakes and both from the and also the wins. Then it puts you at an advantage in your pursuit or in building the belief that it actually exists and you can actually achieve it, because you know a person who is already there and you know what they did to get there. The other thing, take consistent incremental actions. Take consistent incremental actions. Belief is built by action. Belief is built by action. That goes with no say. You have to put in the work. You can only reinforce your own belief about yourself through actions. How do you reinforce capabilities? It's by actually performing those capabilities. How do you get past success without putting in work to actually achieve that success? So it is only through action that you yourself have to do that you can only build belief. I tell you what, even in listening to me right now is not the route to belief. Of course, this is where you come to gain the insight, the inspiration, the ways, the mechanism, and how to build those systems. But at the end of the day, you have to switch off everything around you and literally sit down, put in the work, get the results, which in turn reinforces your belief. The other one, embrace failure as feedback. Of course, be resilient. Be resilient. The capability or the ability to come back even in the midst of a setback. It is just to tell us that in this journey of building belief, you're gonna face obstacles, you're gonna face challenges. You have to be ready to go past the challenges and keep moving. The other one that I want to talk about too is visualizing your success. Of course, we know the power of visualization. You will never get what you're not willing to become. Whatever you want to be right now, you have to make sure that you are willing to become that thing so that you can be able to attract it. Remember, success is not chased, it is attract. You don't chase success, you attract success by becoming what you want. So that thing which you want, you have to become it for you to be able to attract it. The other thing I want to talk about, practice self-affirmation. It's very important. That's where you actually reinforce. When you're affirming yourself, that's when you are actually reinforcing those ideas that I can do this, I've already done it in the past, these are the kind of changes I can be able to bring. You're looking at the world in a broader worldview. These are things that I can be able to accomplish, and so forth and so forth and so forth. Taking inventory of your own self. What are the things that you're doing right? What are the things that you're doing wrong? And clearly understanding which one is setting you in the path that you want to accomplish. Also, monitor and adjust your belief. Your beliefs can actually metamorphosize. They can change depending with time, depending with your rank, depending with the knowledge and the information that you have, depending on the point in your life or the stage in your life that you are in. So you have to take stock, because your objectives and goals in life are going to change. So guess what? If your goals and objectives are here, your belief cannot be here. They have to go simultaneously. If your goals and objectives are going up, your belief about them must also go up. So, know that your beliefs can change, and be ready to actually change them so that you can align them. You can align them with your objectives that you're trying to achieve. The other one I want to talk about is cultivate gratitude and positivity. Of course, that goes with no say. We can't sit here in this pursuit of building belief around what we want to accomplish and look at the downsides. The downside is going to be there, but focus on the positive. Always focus on the positive. You have to analyze all the situation. You have to cushion yourself. You have to do risk management. But at the end of the day, focus on the positive. A book that I would recommend is The Power of Positive Thinking. It clearly explains and dives deep into really understanding how positive thinking can actually transform the way you look at life, and actually can influence the results that you obtain in your life. Because we say that as a man thinketh, so is he. As a man thinketh, so is he. And I can even add, as a man thinketh, so is he. And as he continues to think, so he continues to become. So you become what you think, and you continuously become what you continuously think. And bad thinking will never produce good results. Bad thinking will never produce good results. And also, this is the interesting thing, and why it makes the power of positive thinking very magical, actually, I can use that word, is that good and positive thinking always produces good and positive results. So, good and positive thinking will never produce bad results. So we already know. How do you make sure you never produce bad results? Just think positive. Just think growth. Just think progress. Period. The last one, be patient and persistent. Yeah. You can't build belief in a single day or in a week. It is something that takes time, because this is actually it is a subconscious process. You can't sit and say, I believe I can achieve. No, it's a feeling. or it's a conviction, that's a good word, it's a conviction within yourself that you are 100% sure, without doubt, that there exists what you are pursuing and you are capable of achieving it. So it has to be, or it takes time for your subconscious mind to subscribe to the kind of information that you're feeding it. Remember, we say it is a narrative, but you have to repeat it long enough to become part of you, or to be engraved in yourself. Those are among the tools that I put together for us to understand. So please, let us build belief, because it is so much important for us to believe, because with belief there is nothing that you can't do. It becomes part of you, and that is the only thing that you care about. If you pursue what you want to achieve in that kind of state of mind, then success is inevitable. Thank you very much for sticking up to this point. I really appreciate. See you at work.